Dot Corruption, a LitRPG by J.M. Foley, a.k.a. Artie. Chapter 7, 404, Logout Not Found. Hey, are you guys able to log out? I asked, trying to hide my panic. The elf was already looking at his UI. I could see the panel floating in front of him, but what was on it was imperceptible, probably a privacy feature. His eyes went wide. Guess not. No, it doesn't seem like anything's happening. No error, no nothing. It just doesn't respond. Weird. Let me try, the rogue said, already swiping open his own panel. A pause, then a scowl. Same result. The fuck is happening? The rogue muttered. I wonder if it's related to the NPCs acting strange, I replied, my voice louder than I meant it to be. So what, this is all some bug? The rogue asked, voice rising. They broke Logout? That's like lawsuit tier shit, right? Unless it's not a bug. Everyone turned to look at me. I wasn't even sure why I said it, but something about the static, the way Lilia screamed, the way her memories didn't line up. This didn't feel like a glitch. It felt like a lock, like something was preventing us from leaving. And whatever it was, it didn't want to be found. I'm telling you, the rogue finally said, trying too hard to sound casual. It's a marketing stunt. You know, immersion patch or whatever. Viral shit. Get streamers talking. Right, I said dryly, because nothing says good press like disabling Logout. Lilia looked between us like we were speaking an entirely different language. Either way, the elf said, my little sister's clingy enough that she'll probably yank the headset off me if I don't log out in a couple of hours. Oh, look at this guy. You've got a little sister, the rogue grinned. She cute? She's my sister, the elf replied flatly. Yeah, but is she cute? The rogue pressed, eyes gleaming with the kind of desperation only shit posters could summon. The elf sighed. Syscons only want a little sister because they don't have one. I laughed. What about you? What's your name, by the way? The rogue asked me. I'm Echo, and no little sister. And my parents are, I racked my brain, trying to recall. Away? I paused. Why did that feel like a guess? I was having a bit of trouble remembering my parents. You guys having any, memory issues? I asked. The elf and the rogue glanced at each other, then both looked upward slightly, like they were scrolling through mental menus. No, not really, the elf said. I remember my dog puking on my keyboard last week, the rogue offered proudly. Also, I'm pretty sure I left a pizza in the oven, so that's probably a problem. The elf nodded. My sister made me promise I'd be out in time for dinner. She's going to kill me if I miss another night. They were standing there thinking, obviously thinking, not just recalling something naturally, but pausing, retrieving, like accessing a file system. I tried doing the same. There was a classroom, a girl, Sora. Her voice, her smile. The way she'd handed me the device told me to check it out if I had time, and then I was here. But nothing else came. My memory's a little fuzzy, I guess, I said quickly. Probably just tired. No one pressed it. Well, let's kill some time while we're waiting, the rogue said, stretching. By the way, I'm Bran, and this serious-looking elf is Arvelin. They both extended their hands. I shook them, actually kind of glad for it. Even if Bran was a bit of a smartass, he was entertaining, and Arvelin, for all his quiet intensity, seemed grounded, sharp. It felt good having people around, even if we were all stuck. So, Arvelin, that's an interesting name, I said. Yeah, he replied. The system kind of forces you into something immersive. Try naming yourself X Goblin Slayer 69 X No Scope X and it'll slap you with a filter. Even something like Jason doesn't fly if you're playing an elf. Maybe if you're half-elf, but I didn't test it. He gave a small shrug. Real name's, Jason, but feel free to call me either. We can stick to in-game names, Bran said. Makes it easier to call stuff out in party, like tracking HP, mana, cooldowns. We're already in one. Want to join? Yeah, sure, I said. I didn't have anything better to do. As long as Lilia can come too, I added. You okay with that? I turned to her. She was still watching me, eyes filled with a mix of curiosity and something close to awe. She nodded. "We need you to be our guide," I said. "It'll be cool to have a chick in the party," Bran added, grinning, "even if she's an NPC. "Sent," Arvellin said. A pop-up appeared in my field of view. "Party invite from Arvellin, Elfit Puppeteer, level 7. Accept or decline." I thought accept. A party list appeared in the top left of my vision. It was out of the way unless I intentionally focused on it. Hard to describe, but it felt intuitive, like it belonged there. I glanced at Lilia, her eyes glazed over for a moment, then her portrait popped up in the party list beside ours. "We would explain how to create and join a party to Seekers," she said quietly, "but we weren't really allowed to join one once our—" She trailed off. Her knees buckled slightly and she brought a hand to her mouth, her expression twisted, confused, panicked, like her body was reacting before her mind could catch up. What would have happened to me once you finished the tutorial?" she whispered. "Would I just disappear?" I stepped forward and placed a hand gently on her shoulder. "Hey," I said, soft but firm. "Let's not worry about that." She didn't respond, but her breathing slowed a little. She held on to the moment like it was a rope she wasn't ready to let go of yet. That did make me think, though. Arvellin told us about his tutorial NPC, but Bran... "By the way, Bran, where's your tutorial NPC?" Bran blinked. "Huh?" "You know, everyone gets one, right? A personal guide. Lilia was mine, Arvellin had his puppet girl." "Oh, right. Yeah, I had one too. Kinda." He scratched the back of his head. "I spawned in a prison. The NPC was this thief guy in the next cell. Probably supposed to teach me lockpicking or stealth or whatever." He shrugged. "But I figured it out myself, picked the lock, and just left." Arvellin raised an eyebrow. "You just left him?" "I mean, yeah, I didn't really think about it. I was excited to explore. Figured he'd despawn or something." He paused. "I wonder if he's still there." Shit. "We should go check on him," I said. "You guys good with that?" Arvellin nodded immediately. You could see it in his eyes. Concern, yes, but also something quieter. Fear. Bran hesitated just for a second. "Yeah," he said, scratching the back of his neck. "Let's see if he's, still there." We headed out. The sun had started to dip lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the worn cobblestone streets of Bramblehearth. Lilia walked close beside me, quiet again. Her eyes flicked around like she was memorizing everything, as if it might vanish if she looked away for too long. Bran took the lead, guiding us down an old trade road that veered west into the hills. The road narrowed the further we went. The grass gave way to dry earth, then scattered stone. Old cart tracks had long since faded, and the only occasional broken fence post or moss-covered milestone hinted that anyone had ever passed this way. "Not much further," Bran said again. "Just past that ridge." We crested a rocky rise, and the entrance came into view. We slowed. No one spoke at first. Bran's pace faltered, his expression shifting as he scanned the scene. We crossed the last stretch in silence, boots crunching on loose gravel. The air here felt colder, like the wind didn't want to get too close. Something about the gate. It wasn't just open. It looked like it had been forced open. Bran stopped just before the threshold, eyes narrowing. "The gate was closed before," he muttered. "Looks like something tore its way in." Thunder clapped in the distance. We all stood there a moment, staring into the stairwell. The torches lining the descent flickered unevenly, painting shadows that twisted around corners and jittered across the damp stone walls. Every shift of the flame felt like movement, like something had just slipped out of view. "Let's be careful," Arvellin said, his mannequin looking focused somehow. We descended. The stairs were slick with moisture, the kind that clung to the stone like the place had been sweating. Lilia stayed close to me, quiet, one hand trailing along the wall for balance. None of us spoke. At the bottom, the stairwell opened into a wide chamber, just as Bran described it. Stone walls, low ceilings, a few wooden crates stacked in the corner. But then we saw blood. Fresh. It smeared the walls in handprints, streaks, pools, Some of it still glistened wet in the torchlight. Bodies were scattered across the floor, low-level bandits, maybe level 1 or 2 from the looks of their gear. Their clothes were torn, throats slashed. One was missing a face. Bran's voice came out small. They weren't like this. I snuck past them, yeah, but they were alive, standing, talking. Bran stepped forward slowly, kneeling beside one of the corpses. I think this guy was sharpening a sword when I passed. Said something dumb like, I bet I get my kill today. His voice cracked. Now his entrails were hanging out. Somewhere ahead, deeper in the jail, came a sound. Wet, rhythmic, like meat being chewed too slowly. Something heavy dragging across stone. A squelch, a crunch. Then, silence. No, not silence. Breathing. Something low, close, animal. Shadows danced across the wall, cast by a lone torch around the corner. Crouched, twisting, moving. Arvellin's mannequin shifted slightly behind him, tilting its head like it heard something a second before the rest of us. Get ready, I said in a low voice. We turned the corner, weapons drawn, and the chewing stopped. Thank you for listening. If you want to read ahead, you can find the link to my book on Royal Road in the video description. If you're enjoying the story, please feel free to leave a comment and tell me your thoughts. If you like my way of storytelling, please subscribe to my channel. Be writing and uploading more chapters and stories soon. Thank you so much for listening.